out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, you hear the Rat Pack screaming, because that's right, folks, I'm back. And today, we get to have a great time, because for the Retro Review, we get to come back and visit one of California's greatest sons, one of their favorite sons, I might add, Nick Diaz. We asked you guys for what event you would want us to see us cover for him. We knew Strikeforce was going to be on the top for, obvious reasons. I mean, Nick has to be on that Mount Rushmore of Strikeforce fighters. So today, let's take a look at probably one of the most beloved one-round fights of all time as we cover Strikeforce Diaz versus Daley. Strikeforce Diaz versus Daley took place 11 days before the Diaz brothers' favorite day on April 9th, 2011. The event took up Valley View Casino Center in San Diego, California, or if you watched that at home, then it was on Showtime with around 528,000 people watching at home. Gus Johnson, Frank Shamrock, and Mamma Mia, Mauro Ranallo are your commentators for the night, but enough talk. Let's get to the fights. Opening with the main card, we have a real treat. Potentially the greatest grappler in MMA history gets to debut on the Retro Review series. Shinya Aoki takes on Lyle Beerbom. And if you haven't watched a Shinya Aoki fight before, you're in for a treat. This guy has some of the slickest grappling ever. Fantastic guard that sees him rack up tons of submissions. If you haven't seen it before, go check out his trilogy of fights with Joaquin Hansen. And out the gate, we see the then Dream lightweight champion come out southpaw with a big body kick, but Beerbom oddly goes for a clinch. He presses Aoki to the cage, trying to work his wrestling. Aoki gets a trip to land on top before getting one hook in on the back of Beerbom super quickly. There's a body triangle, and then here comes the neck crank. It's over. It's super quick submission for Aoki. Honestly, I love getting to watch this dude grapple because his grappling is super slick, so I kind of want to go higher, but they were on the ground maybe 30 seconds total, and while it was just chef's kiss, he just took care of business so fast. I have to reflect that in a score. So 6.5 out of 10, but I wish it went longer because, his grappling is so much fun. But next we have two big debuts on the Retro Review series with Keith Jardine, a former light heavyweight fighter in the UFC, taking on former Strikeforce light heavyweight champion and Jack Slack's favorite fighter, Gegard Mousasi. Jardine comes out aggressive, but is struggling to land. Mousasi eats a low kick, but then when he tries to go low with a kick, he gets brought down, quickly scrambles to his feet. Another good low kick here for Jardine, but we quickly see the hand starting to just rip into Jardine from Mousasi. Jardine tries to get on the hips, he presses Mousasi to the cage, and after a little bit of work, he finally gets Gegard down. Mousasi, though, he just gets right back up. Mousasi lands a great right hand, really putting on the pressure, looking for a finish on Jardine. A massive uppercut forces a level change where Mousasi gets taken down. Mousasi's trying to work his guard, being aggressive, and when trying to kick and press Jardine off of him, he lands an illegal upkick. They snag a point, they deduct the point clean away and reset him on the feet. And now Jardine is breathing very heavy and is clearly a little gassed. So every once in a while, Mousasi will taste blood and will press forward with these big combinations, but for the most part, he's moving in steadily. Second round, and while Jardine lands a big low kick, he's still getting lit up whenever he's in boxing range by Mousasi. Jardine tries to shoot in from deep, no luck, and he gets hit on the break. Jardine gets wobbled, and while retreating, he dives on the hips of an approaching Mousasi, gets the takedown. Mousasi kicks him right off. Third round, Mousasi lands a big combination, hurts Jardine, but when he tries to knee him, he eats a low blow when the foot comes up. They have a break, and they go right back at it. Gegard stalking Jardine. Mousasi steps in, he's able to get a big takedown, looks for a big guillotine choke that lifts Jardine up, but Jardine toughs it out, he's able to survive. Mousasi gets another big trip, now he's on top, dropping bombs, but Jardine sneaks out the back door and gets on the hips, but a big combination blasts him, and then we see the mouthpiece pop out, which actually gives Jardine a lot of rest because he might have been close to being finished. Big right hand lands, Jardine stumbled again, Mousasi takes Jardine down again and able to transition to a deep half where he's looking for a shoulder lock. In the final moments, Jardine survives and tosses up a desperation armbar attempt. He does hear the bell in this gutsy performance. And because of the first round point deduction, this fight's a draw. And this fight is fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I was frustrated with the constant stoppages for breaks, and I think it really saved Jardine from getting stopped here, but that happens. I really can't fault him for situations like that. I really can't. 8.5 out of 10, actually. I was initially an 8. On my script it says an 8, but remembering this fight's actually pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. But now we have a big one for me, as Tatsuya Kawajiri. I'm a big fan of his. He's taking on Gilbert, or Gilbert if you want to call him by his fake name, Gilbert Melendez for the Strikeforce lightweight title. And this fight's actually a rematch from Pride, with Melendez taking a unanimous decision win in a pretty solid fight, honestly. And early on, Melendez, he's looking for the range, with Kawajiri looking for a blitz. He gets leveled by a huge right hand. A kick from Kawajiri gets caught. Melendez dumps him, looks for ground and pound, but Kawajiri survives to his feet. Another big shot lands, and when swarming, Melendez landing big right hands whenever he can. Melendez just throwing more and more and more right hands, all of them landing. Kawajiri backs up, goes to change levels, but eats an intercepting uppercut. Melendez goes for the finish, then just goes hard with elbows that get him the TKO win in the first round to defend his Strikeforce lightweight championship. This fight has a super wild pace, and I actually forgot how entertaining this fight was. It's one-sided, and I'm going to deduct points for that, obviously, and that happens, but super wild pace. I got to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I just wanted more. Like, this fight, this pace was so much fun. I kind of wish it was closer and a little bit longer, but that happens, you know. I gotta reward that pace though. But now we have our main event on a card that is really just flying by. We have the welterweight champ Nick Diaz taking on the number one contender, the exiled Paul Daley. Now Nick Diaz, like I said before, has to be on the Mount Rushmore of Strikeforce fighters. He was always the guy of the people. Basically, it almost seemed like he was walking out, asking the fans, "How do you want it?" Then would keep his head up before giving the challenger so many tears. Paul Daley, though, well, he was recently exiled from the UFC after doing something a ton of people probably dream of, punching Josh Koscheck. He came into Strikeforce, got a vicious KO of Scott Smith, then was tossed into a title shot as everyone was almost frothing at the mouth, trying to see what would be this super massive, violent welterweight battle. And out the gate, Diaz instantly starts taunting and trash talking, even as he eats a big low kick from Daley. Daley lands a huge left hook that stuns Diaz as he's changing levels, almost gets hit by a soccer kick. Diaz pushes Daley to the cage, lands some good shots to the body, with some even going high after. Great combination, it seemingly hurts Daley right back. Great lead right hook into a rear straight that stuns Daley. More constant shots, back and forth. Daley lands a great knee, but Diaz is just walking through it and constantly throwing some shots. But suddenly, a huge left hook face plants Nick. Nick survives, but Daley, he still smells blood. Nick gets back up to his feet. Huge left hand to the body. They both start trading shots, with both of them throwing hooks at the same time. Daley tries to push off, but stumbles to the mat and falls. Diaz swarms him. Nick Diaz gets a buzzer beater TKO finish of Paul Daley, and what a fight. This has to be, in my opinion, probably a top 3 one-round fight ever for me. The only two at the top of my head I can think of that I might put over it, maybe, are Arlovsky and Travis Brown in the UFC. And I'm a big fan of, funny enough, he fights on this card, Tatsuya Kawajiri and Eddie Alvarez in Dream. But this fight, come on, it's an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I love this fight. But what do they think of the whole card, though? Well, let me tell you, it was wicked. When I got done watching this, I literally said to myself, you know what? Today is a good day. Ton of violence with no Vaseline, just pure violence going in, and it really had me just bow down. This whole event is a super solid 8.5 for me. A lot of first round finishes, which normally I know. I even said it. I'm not too happy with that because I like longer, closer fights. Strikeforce Miami is so much better, though. I just got to say it. That's it for me, though. And I'll be here, though. I'm always here. I'm on this channel breaking down UFC cards right after they happen. Plus, you know, you probably love this series. In fact, I know you love this series. And you probably want me to cover something that interests you in particular. So why don't you go and join our Patreon, where, of course, you can also see exclusive content such as me and Carl's new series, INC Uncaged. But as a little bonus, you can request for me to do a card for you on the Retro Review series. Any card. I'll cover, honestly, just about anything I can get my hands on. Plus, if you haven't seen the entire series, we've got a big playlist on the channel for you to check out. Maybe I've actually already covered your favorite card of all time, and you can request your second favorite, or maybe a card with your favorite fight of all time. Who knows? I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.